Welcome back to the show. If you're just joining us now, I'm here with Johanna Green from the MS Society here in Lloydminster. We're talking about the very rocky year that the MS sufferers have had in Canada, and especially in our region. The most recent Mosta case, man out of St. Catharines went to Costa Rica to get the treatment done. Didn't work out so well for me. Couldn't get the proper follow-up care back here in Canada, and unfortunately, he died as a result. Do you think that this is motivation for the MS Society to keep pushing to fund research, or is this time to pump the brakes?
You know what? The need for research is greater than ever. And not just the research, but pushing that research forward to clinical trials, because clinical trials will put the procedure under a microscope and put it to the test. And that is what will truly determine what this relationship is between MS and CCSVI, and if the treatment is, and its inherent risks are worth making it as a form of treatment for people with MS.
What kind of answers do you think are going to come out of these trials?
You know, it's tough to know. It's $1 million question, and everyone wants to know the answer. I think that most clinical trials, and I think most governments in Canada, are waiting on the results of the preliminary research, not the clinical trials, but the research into that causality. I think once we know that, and we're hoping to have some preliminary results before the year end, that will point toward whether this correlation is to do with MS or if it's something different. And then from there, it'll be a matter of determining, again, if the risks are too great for this to become a plausible treatment, or if they're reasonable given what people with MS have to gain in terms of quality of life.
Up until this recent St. Catharines death, the MS sufferers have had so much hope. Has this hindered that at all, do you think?
You know, I don't think it has. I think for people with MS, they are strong, gritty people who, while sensitive to, this situation, say, in some senses, it almost makes their case for having this available in Canada stronger. Right. They're saying if he hadn't been turned away in Canada, maybe he'd still be alive today. So I think it really speaks to the need for governments here in Canada to come on board and say, let's find some answers, let's fund some clinical trials, and move this process forward, because people with MS are tired of waiting.
Well, thank you so much for coming in today, Johanna.
It's been a pleasure. Well, thank you.
And good luck on your next endeavors. I know this is your last week with the MS Society here in Lloydminster.
Well, thank you so much. It's been a tremendous opportunity, and I'm blessed to have played just a small role in helping to make a difference in people's lives. So thank you.
It's been a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you.
Thanks, Whitney.
This has been our conversation with Johanna Green from the Lloydminster MS Society. Your top news headlines are after the break.